Welcome to today's deep dive. We have a huge mission today to unpack this massive veterinary and genetic dossier on the Sheepadoodle. We're basically cutting through all that fluffy designer dog marketing to reveal the intense realities of this hybrid.
Yeah, it is a surprisingly complex topic.
Right. And to start, we have to talk about this wild myth from the 1960s. So the story goes that the U.S. military tried to engineer the Sheepadoodle as like a super soldier guard dog, but the whole project failed because the dogs were just way too affectionate. I mean, I have to laugh at that image. It is like trying to draft a golden retriever into a SWAT team.
Well, it is definitely a highly marketable myth, but it's still just a myth.
Yeah.
If you look at the declassified military archives from that era, the military strictly preferred breeds with very high defensive drives.
Like the Belgian Malinois or something.
Exactly. They wanted that territorial instinct. So taking a drover dog and a water retriever, they just do not have the psychological makeup for sentry work.
Right, because you're talking about two completely different working lineages. You've got the old English sheepdog,
Right.
which was built for rugged cattle-driving stamina, right?
Yeah, their whole purpose was to independently push reluctant livestock over miles of terrain.
And then the poodle is this highly biddable water retriever. So combining those specific genetics has to create some pretty unexpected results.
It does, and some of those genetic collisions are actually quite dangerous,
Right.
especially when you look at the natural bobtail gene.
Wait, I need to stop you there. I was reading this in the notes and I am genuinely confused. How can a stubby tail possibly be fatal to a puppy?
It sounds crazy, I know, but it comes down to a mutation in what is called the T-box gene. It operates on a lethal homozygous mechanism.
Okay, what does that actually mean for the breeder?
Think of it like a computer program.
Right.
If a puppy inherits one corrupted line of code, one mutant gene from one parent, it just gets a cute stumpy tail. But if an ethical breeder isn't careful and pairs two carriers, the system basically crashes. Yeah, puppies that inherit two copies of that corrupted code suffer from fatal neural tube defects. It is why you absolutely need meticulous DNA profiling.
That is wild. And that genetic clash doesn't just stop at physical traits, does it? It completely rewires their behavior, too. The dossier highlights this early adolescent period they call the Sharkadoodle phase.
It's an unfortunately accurate nickname. What you're seeing there is a truncated predatory motor sequence.
Which means what exactly?
Well, a wild canine's hunting instinct flows from eye to stalk to chase to grab, bite to kill. But herding dogs have been specifically designed over centuries to freeze that sequence right at the chase or grab bite phase.
So they controlled the livestock instead of harming it.
Exactly.
So to a Sheepadoodle puppy, a running toddler is basically just a rogue sheep.
Precisely. And think about what happens when a kid gets nipped. They usually scream in a high pitch and run away.
Which just triggers the dog even more.
Right, to the dog's hardwired brain that mimics panicked prey. It inadvertently reinforces their prey drive and escalates the biting.
That makes total sense, but it is such a sharp contrast to their other big personality trait, because despite that fierce herding drive, they're also known as these incredibly sensitive Velcro dogs.
They really are. They have profound emotional intelligence, which means they get severe separation anxiety. They have a very low psychological tolerance for isolation.
And you can't just run them around the block to fix that, can you?
No, physical exercise isn't enough.
Yeah.
You have to tire out their brains. You need cognitive enrichment.
Like that muffin tin scent puzzle mentioned in the notes.
Yes. Hiding high-value treats under tennis balls in a baking tin forces them to use their powerful olfactory bulb. It taps into their working genetics and provides a deep, calming psychological fatigue.
So if you are listening to this right now and contemplating dropping $5,000 on one of these puppies, you really have to look past the teddy bear aesthetic.
You do. You are bringing home the absolute apex of handler engagement. It is a profound lifestyle commitment.
Yeah, the grooming alone is massive. Daily brushing with specialized slicker brushes just to prevent agonizing matting. And then there are those autoimmune conditions.
Sebaceous adenitis is a terrifying one to watch out for. It is a disease where the dog's immune system gets confused and actually destroys its own oil glands.
Which causes terrible hair loss and painful skin infections, right?
Exactly. It is a very serious medical reality that owners need to be vigilant about.
It's an immense responsibility, which leaves me with a final, somewhat provocative thought for you to chew on. We have spent centuries purposefully breeding these animals to work for us, right?
Yeah, to herd, to retrieve, to run all day.
Right. But as we continue to mathematically engineer these hybrids for the perfect hypoallergenic look, Are we unintentionally creating an entirely new class of psychological canine disorders? I mean, what happens to their fierce ancient minds when their only job is to sit quietly and look cute next to us on the couch?